It was a tranquil afternoon with the soft hum of cicadas providing a soothing soundtrack to the day's activities. Maria, a loving and devoted mother, had just returned from the bustling mercado with bags of fresh produce and colorful flowers. As she walked back home, her thoughts wandered to her daughter Sophia, who had been feeling lonely since the family moved to this small village. Sophia, a bright-eyed and imaginative 7-year-old, had been struggling to adjust to their new surroundings. The move had been necessary after Maria's husband's job had taken an unexpected turn. As a result, Maria found herself living in a charming but remote village, far from the bustling city where they had previously resided. As Maria reached their modest adobe house with its terracotta-tiled roof and vibrant bougainvillea climbing the walls, she couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt for uprooting Sophia from her familiar surroundings. She was determined to find a way to make her daughter feel more at home, to fill their new home with warmth and comfort. Inside their cozy living room, sunlight streamed through the wooden shutters, casting intricate patterns of light and shadow on the worn patterned rug. Sophia was seated on the floor, playing with her small collection of toys. Her once bright eyes now carried a hint of sadness, and Maria's heart ached at the sight. "Mi niña," Maria said softly, crouching down to embrace her daughter. "How are you feeling today?" Sophia looked up at her mother, her face brightening momentarily before clouding over again. "I miss my old friends, Mama. And I miss my old dolls. These new ones just don't feel the same." Maria hugged her tightly, empathizing with her daughter's longing for the familiar. "I know, Sophia, I miss our old home too. But we'll make new friends here, and we can find something special to make you feel better." With that promise in mind, Maria decided to explore the village in search of something that would bring joy to her daughter's life. She had heard rumors of a peculiar shop at the edge of the village run by an elderly shopkeeper named Abuela Carmen. It was said to be a place where one could find unique and enchanting items, a shop unlike any other. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of crimson and indigo, Maria set out on her quest. She navigated the winding, narrow streets, passing houses adorned with colorful papel picado banners and gardens filled with vibrant marigolds. The scent of freshly cooked tamales wafted from open windows, and the distant strains of a mariachi band practicing for the upcoming fiesta filled the air. Finally, Maria arrived at the small shop, La Tienda de los Tesoros, adorned with intricate wooden carvings and a sign that creaked in the gentle breeze. She pushed open the heavy wrought-iron door and a small bell chimed, announcing her arrival. The shop was a treasure trove of curiosities. Shelves were lined with hand-woven textiles, colorful Talavera pottery, and ancient masks from indigenous cultures. Intricately carved wooden figurines and intricate jewelry adorned display cases, catching the dim light in mesmerizing ways. But what truly captured Maria's attention was a corner of the shop, bathed in a soft, otherworldly glow. There, on a velvet-lined pedestal, sat a porcelain doll, resplendent in her beauty. Her hair, as dark as midnight, cascaded in perfect ringlets, and her eyes, a shade of deep blue, seemed to hold a secret. Maria couldn't tear her gaze away from the doll, whom Abuela Carmen called Isabella. With delicate fingers, she reached out and gently picked up the doll, feeling a strange but undeniable connection. "Es una muñeca muy especial," Abuela Carmen said, her voice filled with a knowing twinkle. "One that brings comfort to those who need it the most." The elderly shopkeeper regaled Maria with tales of Isabella's unique history. She was said to have been crafted by a master doll maker and had passed through generations, bringing solace to those who needed it. As Maria listened to Abuela Carmen's stories, a newfound sense of hope welled up inside her. She knew she had found the perfect gift for Sophia, one that might help her daughter adjust to their new life. Little did she know that this enchanting doll, Isabella, carried a history much darker than anyone could have imagined. With the porcelain doll Isabella cradled gently in her arms, Maria returned to their cozy adobe house, a sense of anticipation and excitement building within her. The setting sun painted the sky in shades of pink and orange, casting a warm glow over the village, as Maria contemplated the impact this beautiful doll might have on Sophia's life. As she stepped into the house, she found Sophia still playing on the rug in the living room. Her eyes, previously tinged with sadness, now lit up with curiosity and wonder as she beheld the exquisite doll in her mother's arms. "Mama, who is she?" Sophia asked, reaching out to touch the doll's porcelain cheek with a gentle finger. Maria knelt beside her daughter, her heart swelling with affection. "This, mi amor, is Isabella," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "She's a very special doll, one that will be your new friend. Sophia's eyes widened with delight as she accepted Isabella into her embrace. The doll felt cool to the touch, and her painted features exuded an ethereal charm. Sophia couldn't help but smile as she examined every intricate detail of her new companion. As the evening deepened, Maria and Sophia sat together on the rug, sharing stories and laughter. Maria spoke of their old home and the friends they had left behind, while Sophia recounted her favorite tales from school. The once quiet living room was now filled with the melodious sound of a mother and daughter bonding over a cherished doll. As bedtime approached, Maria tucked Sophia into her small, canopied bed adorned with hand-stitched quilts. She placed Isabella on the nightstand next to the bed, her porcelain eyes seemingly watching over Sophia as she drifted into dreams. The night was calm and clear, with a soft breeze rustling the leaves outside their window. As Sophia slept peacefully, Isabella remained motionless on the nightstand, her presence a comforting one for the young girl. However, the tranquility of the night was not destined to last. In the darkest hours, as the moon cast eerie shadows across the room, Isabella's eyes seemed to take on a different hue. A faint, sinister crimson glimmered within them. Isabella's porcelain lips, which had been forever frozen in a serene smile, twisted into an unsettling smirk. Slowly and almost imperceptibly, she turned her head to gaze upon Sophia's sleeping form. Unbeknownst to Sophia, she began to stir in her sleep. Her dreams, once peaceful, took on a nightmarish quality. She tossed and turned, her brow furrowing in distress as her slumber was plagued by visions of Isabella coming to life, her porcelain hands reaching out to grasp her. Outside, the village slept peacefully, unaware of the unsettling events unfolding within Maria and Sophia's home. Back in the bedroom, Isabella's porcelain fingers twitched and her head turned slightly. It was as if an unseen force was animating her, defying the laws of nature. The crimson glow in her eyes grew brighter, casting an eerie aura over the room. The very air seemed to thicken as Isabella's presence became palpable, an unexplainable sense of malevolence emanating from the once beloved doll. In the midst of her turbulent dreams, Sophia awoke with a start, her heart pounding. She stared wide-eyed at Isabella, who now stood at the edge of her bed, her porcelain face inches from Sophia's own. Terror gripped Sophia as she realized that the doll she had loved and trusted was no longer the same. Isabella's once beautiful features now contorted into a grotesque, sinister mask, and her eyes blazed with an unholy fire. Sophia's cries pierced the night, waking Maria from her slumber in the adjoining room. She rushed to her daughter's side, her heart in her throat as she witnessed the unthinkable. The doll that had brought them hope had become the source of their nightmares. Sophia's screams echoed through the small adobe house, reaching every corner and crevice as Maria rushed to her daughter's bedside. The room, once a sanctuary of comfort, had transformed into a chamber of terror, and Maria's heart constricted with fear as she beheld Isabella, the porcelain doll, now a grotesque and malevolent presence at the edge of Sophia's bed. Maria's hands trembled as she reached for the cursed doll, the words of Abuela Carmen echoing in her mind. One that brings comfort to those who need it the most. This was not the comfort they had sought. This was a nightmare. With a trembling hand, Maria snatched the doll from Sophia's bed and tossed it aside, her eyes never leaving Isabella's twisted visage. But as the porcelain doll hit the floor, it landed without a sound, as if defying the laws of nature. "Sofia, mi amor," Maria whispered, gathering her trembling daughter into her arms. She cradled her, soothing her with gentle words, and tried to understand the nature of the terror that had overtaken their home. Sophia clung to her mother, tears streaming down her face. "Mama, the doll, she was moving, and she wanted to hurt me," she stammered between sobs. Maria's heart ached for her daughter, but she struggled to reconcile her daughter's words with the doll she had brought home with love. Was it possible that Isabella, this seemingly innocent porcelain doll, harbored a malevolent spirit? Her mind raced with disbelief and fear. As the night wore on, Sophia's terror seemed to ebb, and she eventually fell into a fitful sleep, her grip on Maria never loosening. Maria remained vigilant, her eyes darting to where Isabella lay discarded on the floor. The room was still, but an unsettling atmosphere lingered. The following day dawned, bringing with it a mixture of trepidation and determination. Maria was resolute in her quest to uncover the truth about the cursed doll. She needed answers, and there was only one person she knew who might possess the knowledge they sought, Abuela Carmen. Leaving Sofia with their kind neighbor Doña Rosa, Maria returned to La Tienda de los Tesoros, determination etched into her features. The shop was bathed in the soft, mystical glow as before, but this time it held an air of foreboding. Abuela Carmen greeted Maria with a knowing nod, her eyes revealing an understanding of the predicament that had befallen them. "You've seen it, haven't you?" she said in a hushed tone, leading Maria to a corner of the shop, away from prying eyes and ears. Maria hesitated, her voice trembling. "Isabella, she's not what she seems. She was moving last night, and her eyes, they glowed red like a demon's." Abuela Carmen's expression grew somber. "Isabella carries a dark history, one that stretches back generations. She was crafted by a skilled doll maker, but the porcelain used to create her is infused with ancient magic. That magic has a purpose, one that can be both a blessing and a curse." Maria leaned in, desperate for answers. "What purpose? What curse?" The elderly shopkeeper's eyes bore into Maria's. "Isabella was created to bring comfort to those in need, but her magic is not selective. She has the power to amplify the emotions and fears of those around her. If those emotions turn dark or tormented, she can become a conduit for malevolent entities, a vessel for their influence." A shiver ran down Maria's spine as she absorbed Abuela Carmen's words. "So she's possessed by something evil?" Abuela Carmen nodded gravely. "Yes, and to free her from this darkness, you must seek the help of a curandera, someone with the knowledge and power to perform an exorcism. But be warned, Maria, for this will not be an easy path. The malevolent force within Isabella will resist, and your love for Sophia will be tested." Determined to save her daughter and rid their home of the evil that had taken root, Maria set forth on a journey to find a curandera who could help them perform the exorcism needed to cleanse Isabella of the ancient demon's grip. Little did she know that their struggle was just beginning, and the battle between good and evil was about to escalate in ways she could never have imagined. As Maria delved deeper into the heart of the Mexican village in search of a curandera who could aid them in their plight, her thoughts were consumed by the nightmarish events of the previous night. Her steps were heavy, burdened by the weight of her daughter's safety and the unsettling truth about the porcelain doll, Isabella. With each passing moment, she became more aware that the doll she had brought into their home was a harbinger of darkness. The small village of San Isidro bustled with its usual activities. Vendors set up their stalls in the plaza, selling colorful textiles, artisan crafts, and fragrant flowers. Villagers went about their daily routines, their faces etched with a mixture of curiosity and concern as they observed the distraught mother. Maria's search led her to Doña Rosalia, a revered curandera known for her wisdom in matters of the supernatural. Nestled within a modest adobe house adorned with hanging herbs and talismans, Doña Rosalia welcomed Maria into her small but inviting abode. The scent of dried sage and copal incense permeated the air. Doña Rosalia listened intently as Maria recounted the terrifying events of the previous night, her voice quivering with fear and determination. Maria spared no detail, explaining how Isabella, the porcelain doll, had transformed into a vessel of malevolence that threatened her daughter's well-being. The curandera's eyes, dark and wise, met Maria's with a knowing gaze. "Maria, you have encountered a powerful and ancient darkness," she explained in a hushed voice, "but the strength of a mother's love can be a formidable weapon against such evil." Maria nodded, her heart heavy but resolved. "I'll do whatever it takes to protect Sofia and rid our home of this darkness. Please, Doña Rosalia, help us." Doña Rosalia agreed to assist them, but she cautioned Maria that the exorcism would not be easy. It would require a deep connection to her daughter, a willingness to confront the darkness within themselves, and the strength to withstand the malevolent force that had taken residence within Isabella. As Maria left Doña Rosalia's home with a heavy heart and a newfound sense of purpose, she couldn't help but feel the eyes of the villagers upon her. The news of Isabella's sinister transformation had spread like wildfire, and she could sense the collective unease in the community. Their once peaceful home was now the epicenter of a chilling mystery, and Maria couldn't help but wonder how deeply the darkness had spread. Upon her return, Maria was relieved to find Sofia safe in the company of Doña Rosa. Sofia's eyes, once filled with fear, now held a spark of hope as she saw her mother's determined expression. "Mama, are we going to make Isabella better?" Sofia asked, clutching her mother's hand. Maria knelt beside her daughter, a reassuring smile on her face. "Yes, mi amor, we're going to make everything better, but first we need to prepare ourselves." Over the following days, Maria and Sofia embarked on a journey of emotional healing and self-discovery. Doña Rosalia guided them through a series of rituals and ceremonies designed to cleanse their spirits and strengthen their bond. It was a time of introspection and growth as they faced their own fears and doubts head-on. As the days turned into weeks, Maria could see a change in Sofia. her daughter, once plagued by nightmares, began to regain her joyful spirit. The bond between them grew stronger, and Maria felt a glimmer of hope that they could confront the ancient demon that had plagued their lives. Yet, lurking in the shadows, Isabella remained a haunting presence, her porcelain eyes still tainted by malevolence. Maria knew that the true test of their strength and love was yet to come, as they prepared for the harrowing exorcism that would determine the fate of their family and the cursed doll that had brought them to the brink of darkness. The days passed slowly as Maria and Sofia continued their preparations under the guidance of Doña Rosalia. They practiced meditation, performed cleansing rituals, and delved into the depths of their emotions, confronting the darkest corners of their souls. The curandera warned them that the upcoming exorcism would be a battle not just against the ancient demon within Isabella, but also against the vulnerabilities within themselves. Each night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, and the village fell into silence, Maria would sit by Sofia's bedside, her protective presence a shield against the malevolent force that had taken residence in their home. Isabella, the porcelain doll, had not relented in her sinister activities. She moved from room to room, her porcelain footsteps barely audible, and strange occurrences became the norm. Objects levitating, eerie whispers in the night, and shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. Sofia's nightmares persisted, but her newfound strength, nurtured by her mother's unwavering love and the guidance of Doña Rosalia, allowed her to confront the terror within her dreams. She began to understand that the source of her fear was not her mother, as Isabella had made her believe, but the malevolent entity that had tainted the doll. Maria, too, had her own share of sleepless nights. She often sat in the dimly lit living room, gazing at Isabella, who now occupied a locked glass cabinet. The doll's porcelain features retained their sinister countenance, and her eyes, those cursed eyes, still glowed with a malicious crimson light. As the day of the exorcism approached, Maria found herself wrestling with conflicting emotions. She couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt for having introduced Isabella into their lives. The doll had been intended as a source of comfort and joy for Sofia, but it had become a conduit for darkness. Doña Rosalia arrived at their home on the eve of the exorcism, her presence commanding and reassuring. She had brought with her an array of sacred herbs, candles, and incantations, each carefully chosen to aid in the battle against the ancient demon. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as Maria, Sofia, and Doña Rosalia gathered in the dimly lit living room, surrounded by the trappings of the supernatural. Sofia clung to her mother, her eyes reflecting a mixture of fear and determination. "Remember," Doña Rosalia said in a firm yet gentle voice, "this battle is not just about freeing Isabella. It's about reclaiming your home and your lives." The exorcism began with a solemn incantation, the rhythmic chants filling the room as the curandera invoked the protective spirits. Maria and Sofia held hands, their bond strengthening with each word uttered. The energy in the room shifted, becoming charged with an otherworldly force. Isabella, locked within her glass prison, seemed to writhe in agony, her porcelain features contorted with rage, and her crimson eyes blazed brighter than ever. She emitted an otherworldly shriek, a sound that sent shivers down the spines of all present. The battle between light and darkness raged on, as Doña Rosalia called upon the protective spirits to aid them. The room became a battleground of supernatural forces, with the very walls seemingly pulsating with energy. Maria and Sofia held their ground, their love and determination serving as a shield against the onslaught of malevolence. The curandera's incantations grew louder, her voice unwavering as she channeled the spirits of protection and purification. In the midst of this cosmic struggle, Maria's heart ached as she witnessed the toll it was taking on Sofia. Her daughter's eyes, once filled with fear, now blazed with an inner strength as she faced the embodiment of her nightmares. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. Hours passed, though it felt like an eternity, until finally, a blinding burst of light filled the room. The malevolent presence within Isabella let out one final ear-piercing shriek before dissipating into nothingness. Exhausted and emotionally drained, Maria and Sofia collapsed into each other's arms, their tears of relief and gratitude flowing freely. Doña Rosalia, her work complete, offered a nod of satisfaction and left them with a final blessing. As the first rays of dawn broke through the window, bathing the room in a soft golden light, Maria felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in a long time. The battle against the ancient demon had been won, and their home was once again a place of warmth and love. But as she glanced at the glass cabinet that still held Isabella, her heart wavered. The doll remained, its porcelain face serene once more, but Maria couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was far from over. The curse had been broken, but the darkness within Isabella lingered, a reminder of the malevolent force they had faced. The true test of their strength and resolve lay ahead, as they grappled with the aftermath of their battle against the ancient demon and the cursed doll that had brought them to the brink of despair. In the wake of the harrowing exorcism that had rid Isabella, the porcelain doll, of the malevolent presence, Maria and Sofia found themselves facing a new chapter in their lives. The small Mexican village of San Isidro had returned to its tranquil state, and the once chilling atmosphere within their home had dissipated. However, the shadow of their recent ordeal still loomed large. Maria couldn't shake the feeling that there were unanswered questions, mysteries surrounding Isabella that demanded resolution. She was determined to uncover the truth about the cursed doll that had brought them to the brink of darkness. Maria's quest for answers began with Abuela Carmen, the elderly shopkeeper who had first introduced her to Isabella. She had been aware of the doll's dark history, and Maria believed she held crucial information. One sunny afternoon, Maria ventured back to La Tienda de los Tesoros. As the doorbell chimed softly, Abuela Carmen looked up from behind the counter, her eyes filled with both curiosity and understanding. "Maria, mi niña, how can I help you today?" Abuela Carmen greeted her. Maria cleared her throat, her voice resolute. "I need to know everything you can tell me about Isabella, her history, her origins, and how she came to be possessed." Abuela Carmen sighed and motioned for Maria to sit. She began to unravel the centuries-old tale of Isabella's creation and the dark forces that had plagued her existence. Isabella was crafted by a master doll-maker named Alejandro Valdez, Abuela Carmen began. He was known not just for his skill but also for his fascination with ancient magic and folklore. Legend has it that he created Isabella as an experiment, infusing her porcelain with a unique blend of herbs and incantations. Maria listened intently, her eyes fixed on the elderly shopkeeper. "But why would he do such a thing?" Abuela Carmen continued. "Alejandro believed that by imbuing his creations with this ancient magic, he could bring comfort to those who needed it most. Isabella was intended to be a source of solace, a companion for those facing hardship." As the story unfolded, Maria couldn't help but feel a sense of sympathy for the doll's creator. His intentions had been noble, but his experiment had unleashed an unforeseen malevolence. "Is there any way to undo what he did?" Maria asked, her voice tinged with hope. Abuela Carmen shook her head. "Once a doll is infused with this magic, it becomes a conduit for both light and darkness. It can be a vessel for comfort, or a magnet for malevolent forces, depending on the emotions and intentions of those around it. The balance is delicate and difficult to control." Maria absorbed the information, her mind racing with the implications. She couldn't change the past, but she could shape the future for herself and her daughter. "Thank you, Abuela Carmen. Your guidance means the world to us." With a heavy heart but newfound clarity, Maria left the shop, determined to protect Sofia and ensure that Isabella's dark legacy was put to rest. The doll remained locked in the glass cabinet, a constant reminder of the malevolent force they had faced. As the weeks turned into months, Maria and Sofia slowly rebuilt their lives. The bond between mother and daughter had deepened, and their connection had proven unbreakable. Sofia's nightmares had faded, replaced by dreams filled with hope and possibility. One sunny afternoon, as Maria tended to the vibrant marigolds in their garden, Sofia approached her mother with a timid request. "Mama, can we give Isabella a second chance?" Maria paused, considering her daughter's words. It was a difficult decision, but she knew that forgiveness was a powerful force. "Sofia, I believe in second chances, but we will keep Isabella in that glass cabinet as a reminder of the darkness we faced and the strength we found within ourselves." Sofia nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. It was a testament to their resilience that they could find compassion even for the source of their torment. As the years passed, the memory of Isabella and the malevolent force that had possessed her began to fade. San Isidro returned to its tranquil rhythm, and Maria and Sofia found solace in the love and support of their tight-knit community. The chapter of their lives that had been marked by darkness had closed, but the lessons they had learned, the strength they had gained, and the unbreakable bond they shared would endure. Maria knew that their journey was far from over, but with Sofia by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges the future held, armed with love, courage, and the knowledge that the power of a mother's love could conquer even the darkest of forces. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the village of San Isidro, as Maria and Sofia prepared for the most pivotal moment of their lives, the exorcism of Isabella, the porcelain doll. The weight of their journey bore down on them, but they faced it with unwavering determination, bolstered by their newfound strength and the guidance of Doña Rosalia. In their modest living room, the air was thick with anticipation. Maria had rearranged the furniture to create a sacred space for the exorcism. Doña Rosalia had provided them with candles, herbs, and sacred symbols to amplify their connection to the spiritual realm. The scent of copal incense wafted through the room, cleansing the space of negative energy. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Maria and Sofia donned white robes, a symbol of purity and protection. Their hands clasped together, they recited a prayer of strength, calling upon the protective spirits that would aid them in their battle against the malevolent force. Isabella, the cursed doll, lay within her locked glass cabinet, her porcelain features still serene, but tainted by the darkness that had possessed her. Her crimson eyes seemed to watch them, and Maria couldn't help but shiver at the sight. Doña Rosalia, Maria began, her voice steady but filled with conviction. We are ready to begin. Please guide us. The curandera nodded solemnly and lit the candles, their flames casting dancing shadows on the walls. She chanted incantations in a language that seemed ancient and powerful, calling upon the spirits of protection to shield them from harm. As the incantations echoed through the room, the atmosphere shifted. The air seemed to hum with energy, and Isabella's presence within the cabinet grew palpable. Her once serene expression twisted into a grotesque mask, and her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. Sofia stood beside her mother, her small hand tightly gripping Maria's. The young girl's eyes, once filled with fear, now held a fierce determination. She understood that the battle ahead would test their resolve and the strength of their bond. Doña Rosalia motioned for them to join her around the glass cabinet. Maria and Sofia approached, their hearts pounding in unison. The curandera placed her hands on the cabinet, her touch sending a surge of energy through the room. With a steady voice, Doña Rosalia addressed the ancient demon that had possessed Isabella. You who have tainted this innocent vessel, we command you to release your grip and depart from this place. You are not welcome here. Isabella's reaction was immediate and violent. The glass cabinet shook, and the doll's porcelain limbs contorted as if in pain. Her crimson eyes blazed brighter, and she let out an unearthly shriek that seemed to reverberate through the very walls of the house. Maria and Sofia clenched their jaws, their determination unwavering. They chanted their own prayers of strength, channeling their love and courage into the battle against the malevolent force. Minutes turned into hours as the exorcism raged on. The room became a battleground of supernatural forces, with Isabella at the epicenter. The ancient demon fought desperately to maintain its grip, but Maria and Sofia's love and the curandera's unwavering resolve proved to be formidable adversaries. The exorcism reached its climax as a blinding burst of light filled the room. Isabella let out one final ear-piercing shriek, her porcelain form writhing in agony. And then, in an instant, the malevolent presence was gone, vanquished by the combined strength of mother and daughter. Maria and Sofia collapsed to the floor, their bodies drained of energy, but their spirits victorious. Doña Rosalia breathed a sigh of relief, her wrinkled face breaking into a smile. The battle had been fierce, but they had emerged victorious. As the first light of dawn broke through the window, bathing the room in a soft golden glow, Maria felt a profound sense of peace. Their home was once again a place of warmth and love, free from the malevolent force that had plagued it. But as she gazed at the glass cabinet that still held Isabella, Maria knew that their journey was far from over. The curse had been broken, but the darkness within Isabella lingered, a reminder of the malevolent force they had faced. The true test of their strength and resolve lay ahead, as they grappled with the aftermath of their battle against the ancient demon and the cursed doll that had brought them to the brink of despair.